Imagine this. A 700-kilometer electric luxury sedan, 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds, a cabin that looks like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie, and it costs about $37,000. Yeah, you heard that right. This is the Avatr 12, a car so futuristic it honestly makes some German luxury sedans look like they're still running Windows XP. And I'm not gonna lie, as an American car enthusiast, looking at this thing kinda makes me jealous, because the tech inside this Chinese EV, man, some of it doesn't even exist yet in cars sold in the US. So today, we're diving deep into this spaceship on wheels. The design, the insane Huawei tech, the luxury interior, and the price that might make BMW and Mercedes executives lose sleep tonight. But trust me, wait until you see the interior, because that's where things get crazy. All right, let's start with the outside, because the first time I saw this car, I genuinely thought, wait, did Porsche secretly build a futuristic EV sedan? The front end of the Avatr 12 is super clean and aggressive. There's no traditional grille, because, of course, it's electric. Instead, you get the smooth, sculpted nose that looks more like a concept car than a production vehicle. The LED headlights are razor sharp, thin, angular, and extremely modern. And below them, you'll notice these futuristic vertical daytime running lights that almost look like glowing blades cutting into the bumper. It gives the car a robotic, cyberpunk vibe, like something Tony Stark would drive to grab coffee. Now, the hood design is interesting too. Instead of a flat surface, it has these flowing curves that guide air over the car to improve aerodynamics. And speaking of aerodynamics, the Avatr 12 is designed to slice through the air like a fighter jet. Everything about the front end screams efficiency and speed. Now, let's move to the side profile, because this is where the car really starts flexing. This thing is basically a four-door electric coupe. Long, low, wide, and ridiculously sleek. It reminds me a lot of the Porsche Taycan or even the Mercedes EQS, but somehow even more futuristic. First thing you'll notice, frameless doors. Yep, full luxury coupe vibes. Then there are the flush door handles that pop out when you approach the car. Very Tesla-like, but cleaner. The body lines are smooth and flowing, almost like liquid metal. And the wheelbase is massive, over 3 meters long, which is why this sedan has such an elegant, stretched look. The wheels can go up to 21 inches, and they look like something straight out of a cyberpunk video game. Low-profile tires, massive arches, super aggressive stance. And the roofline? Oh man, it slopes down dramatically toward the rear like a coupe, giving the car that grand touring sports sedan vibe. Now let's talk about the rear, because this might be my favorite angle. Instead of traditional taillights, you get this full-width LED light strip stretching across the back. It's super thin, super futuristic, almost like a glowing red laser. The rear bumper is clean and sculpted, with an integrated diffuser that makes the car look planted and sporty. And then there's something really interesting. The rear window is actually tiny because most of the visibility comes from cameras and digital mirrors. Yeah, this car is basically halfway to becoming a spaceship. But here's the crazy part. The exterior is just the warm-up, because inside this thing, oh boy, it's like stepping into the future of cars. Now let's talk performance, because the Avatr 12 isn't just a tech showcase. This thing is fast. The high-performance version produces about 439 horsepower. Torque? A massive 687 newton meters. That means 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 3.8 seconds. Yeah, this luxury sedan is basically sports car quick. And because it's built on an 800-volt EV platform, charging is seriously fast. You can charge 30% to 80% in around 20 minutes. Range? Up to 705 kilometers on the CLTC cycle, which roughly translates to around 430 miles in ideal conditions. There's also a range-extended hybrid version that can travel over 1,100 kilometers. Combined, That's like driving from New York to Chicago without stopping. Not bad for a car that looks like a spaceship. Now, let's talk safety, because this thing is basically loaded with sensors. The Avatr 12 comes with Huawei's advanced driver assistance system, which uses a crazy setup of sensors, including LiDAR. That means the car can literally build a 3D map of everything around it. We're talking features like automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, automated parking, collision avoidance systems. There's also advanced omnidirectional anti-collision technology designed to prevent accidents from multiple angles. The body structure uses high-strength steel and reinforced crash zones to protect passengers. Basically, this car is watching the road harder than your driving instructor during your driving test. All right, now we get to the part that honestly made me go, okay, this is unfair, because the Avatr 12 interior looks like it came from the year 2035. First thing you notice when you step inside, the dashboard is basically one giant screen. There's a super wide digital display stretching across the dash. Everything is digital. Speed, navigation, vehicle status, driver information, all floating across this futuristic screen. Then in the center, you get a large floating infotainment display that controls almost everything in the car. Climate control, music, driving modes, vehicle settings. And because Huawei helped develop the software, the interface is super smooth and extremely responsive. Think of it like an iPhone inside your car. Now, let's talk about the sound system, because the Avatr 12 offers a 25-speaker premium audio system. Yeah, 25 speakers. That's basically a rolling concert hall. The seats are another highlight. Super plush, heated, ventilated, and, in higher trims, massaging seats. So the car can literally give you a massage while you're stuck in traffic. Honestly, LA commuters would love this. Materials inside the cabin are also top tier. Soft leather everywhere, Alcantara accents, brushed aluminum, ambient lighting running across the doors and dashboard. At night, the cabin glows like a luxury lounge. And then there's the panoramic glass roof. Huge, letting tons of natural light into the cabin, which makes the entire interior feel open and airy and futuristic. But here's the wildest part. The Avatr 12 has something called a smart AI cockpit. The car learns your habits, adjusts your seat automatically, remembers climate preferences, adjusts music based on your taste. It basically becomes your personal robotic driving assistant, which sounds amazing, but also slightly scary, because your car might know your Spotify playlist better than your friends. Despite looking like a sleek sports sedan, the Avatr 12 is actually pretty big. The car is about 5 meters long, putting it right in the luxury executive sedan category. The wheelbase is over 3 meters, which means tons of legroom inside. Depending on the configuration, it can come with 4 or 5 seats. Rear passengers get massive space and luxury seating, and there's plenty of trunk space for luggage, groceries, or road trips. So while this thing looks like a sports coupe, it still works as a practical family luxury sedan. All right, time for the moment that made me sit back and say, wait, that's it? The Avatr 12 starts around $37,000 in China, and even the higher trims stay under about $60,000. Let me say that again. A futuristic luxury EV with 700-kilometer range, LiDAR technology, insane screens, and luxury interior for the price of a used Corolla in some U.S. cities. Meanwhile, something like a Porsche Taycan or a Mercedes EQS can easily cost $100,000 or more. Which raises a serious question. If this car came to the United States tomorrow, would you buy this, or would you still choose something like a Porsche Taycan? Let me know in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious. So yeah, the Avatr 12 is one of those cars that makes you realize the EV race is getting wild. Crazy design, crazy technology, crazy value. And honestly, it kind of makes me jealous that this level of innovation is happening so fast in China. But what do you think? Is this the future of luxury EVs or just another overhyped tech experiment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because in the next video, we're looking at a Chinese EV that might actually make Tesla nervous. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one.